Hello, today I'm going to be discussing the final few chapters of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone because I finished it. Wow, my very first Harry Potter book. This makes up part of the series in which I'm reading all the Harry Potter books for the very first time. Let's start with one of my favourite things to talk about, which is the changes between the first edition that Stephen Fry reads on the audiobooks and the 25-year anniversary edition that I've been reading. There are three that I want to talk about. The first one, they're talking about a book. I think Dumbledore's in this part of the book. They're talking about the book 100 Magical Herbs and Plants. And in the 25-year anniversary edition, it's 1,000 magical herbs and plants. So just interesting little change there. Obviously, there weren't enough herbs for J.K. Rowling's liking as she progressed through the series. So she just whacked a few more herbs and plants in there. The second one, Hogshead Pub, the pub in the village. That's the Stephen Fry one, talking about the village near Hogwarts. And it used to just have one pub. And as the series went through, she's obviously gone back and put in one of the pubs in the village, which is what she's changed it to now. And that's the one I'm reading. The third change, and this is my favourite one, when Ron, Hermione and Harry are under Hogwarts, you know what I'm talking about, right at the end, they have to play a game of chess. It's really cool. They take the place of some of the giant pieces on the black side and they're playing white. Ron is instructing Hermione and Harry what to do. And he says, you, to Harry, and Harry's the bishop. Try and keep up here. You, Harry, the bishop, go next to him instead of that castle. So he's basically saying the bishop goes next to the castle. And if you play chess, you know that's not right. The bishop doesn't go next to the castle. The bishop goes next to the knight, which goes next to the castle, which technically is a rook. Come on. And in the new version, they've corrected that, and Ron just says, you go there instead of that castle. So, yeah, a little change there. There's only one place to start. It's the end of book one. You know what I'm going to say. Because you were me if you've read Harry Potter. Snape is good. What? He's good. He's a goodie. I didn't see that coming. And I think I've briefly mentioned how bad I am at consuming stories because I never guess the end. Yeah, let's talk about Snape. He is clearly the red herring, set up quite well, I think, as Voldemort's assistant, and ostensibly he's the one trying to get the Philosopher's Stone into the hands of Voldemort to keep him alive. And they turn that around at the end when it's revealed that it's actually Professor Quirrell, who is Voldemort's assistant, and a bit more than that. You know what I'm talking about. And I just thought that was really well done, and it made me really enjoy the ending. Have I said that yet? I loved it. I really loved it. I genuinely cannot wait for book 2. I just want to get this video done so I can start reading it. Buzzing. So yeah, really love that part of the ending. Snape's turnaround into Goody. I'm really excited to see how Snape and Harry's relationship changes. I reckon maybe in book 2, they're probably going to team up. They've got to team up at some point because that'll be so interesting to see how they interact with each other. But yeah, loved that part of the book. Really cool. Next, I need to talk about Hagrid. Man, I love that guy. I want to talk about Hagrid because I think it's really interesting that at the end of the book, Hagrid breaks down and cries. And there's just a huge role reversal between him and Harry. Hagrid starts the book, as I've said before, this father, grandfather, uncle, guardian who welcomes Harry into Hogwarts, takes him under his wing and looks after him. By the end of the book, Harry's the one consoling Hagrid because Hagrid's so distraught that he might have put Harry in danger. What is it that he's exactly so upset about? It's that he's given the information to Voldemort about... I'll put myself on the spot here. He's given him... what happens? Gives Voldemort the information about how to get past Fluffy? My memory's dreadful now. I think it's Fluffy, yeah? And Hagrid is distraught. He's crying. Harry's comforting him. I think it's a really interesting role reversal. And what I think it does is it gives us the opportunity to see that Harry's growing up. And this end to the book serves as a way of seeing that Harry is settled at Hogwarts. He's among the other students there, he's settled, and do you know what? You don't know what's going to happen next. Book 2 set up so nicely. It's the summer holidays, and I have no idea what the next book will be about. It's great. I'm so excited. For the next part, I'm going to grab the book. This is insane. This is insane. This chapter is called The Forbidden Forest. Have you read this? This is insane. Do you know what happens in this chapter? I'm going to tell you what happens in this chapter, okay? Firstly, 3 children get a detention at 11 o'clock at night. Sorry, what? And nothing is said about this in the book. It's just like, oh yeah, your detention is going to be at 11 o'clock at night. And they're just like, oh, okay, that's fine. We'll go to detention at 11 o'clock. So apparently we just read this and we're like, yeah, of course, just have a detention at night. Hermione's reaction to this is, oh no, I've lost a whole night of revision. What is she, 11, 12 years old? What is she, starting revision at 11 o'clock at night? What are you doing? Like, chill out. Everyone's gone mad in this chapter. Everyone's lost their minds, okay? Then we go to the forest, because apparently we have detentions where we just go to the forest. When they get to the forest, the first thing they talk about is unicorns. What's next? Just some centaurs. Yeah, just 3 centaurs, mate. Just pop them in. 3 centaurs. One of them is depressed. No, it's not that guy. It's another centaur, because there's another one. Firenze. He gets in trouble because he gives Harry a lift on his back because Harry's just been attacked by a cloaked demon kind of person. And then Bane. Bane's problem is that Firenze is giving Harry a ride on his back, and apparently that's like embarrassing and shameful. That's not the issue, dude. He's just been attacked by a ghost thing, monster, with blood. By a guy who's drinking unicorn blood, and you're like, wait, get him off your back. Priorities. Still not enough, you say. Well, these centaurs, they read planets. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. They just read planets. Who doesn't read planets? You ever read a planet? No, because nobody reads planets. What is this about? And then apparently we learn that drinking the blood... Yeah, just a quick fact here, okay? Just at the end of the chapter. If you drink unicorn's blood, you live a cursed half-life for eternity then. You're just cursed. Not sure how you live a half-life for eternity, but this chapter. At one point, as if J.K. Rowling is calling to attention the absurdity of this chapter. Here it is. Harry didn't have a clue what was going on. That's because this chapter is mad. It's a mad chapter. That's not to say I didn't enjoy it, because I did. It just... so many different things. We learned so much about so many different things. And it was just kind of crazy. Next, let's talk about Dumbledore. I know that he is a lot of people's darling favourite wizard. And lots of people are sad. Something happens to Dumbledore. There's something to do with the actor playing him as well, who died. But I need to talk about Dumbledore because at the end of the book, Dumbledore does a thing. And I think it was mean. I think it was mean. Let me tell you what he does. So, it's the end of the school year, and everyone's in the hall, the Great Hall, right? And they're all in their houses, and they're all wearing their robes, and they're all going to find out who won. Let's find out who won the House Cup. And of course, Harry's just finished his quest. The Philosopher's Stone has been destroyed, right? So it's the end. It's like the epilogue, almost. And we're in the Great Hall, and Dumbledore, of course, is going to announce the winners of the House Cup. And he says, in last place, Gryffindor with this many points. In third place, Ravenclaw with this many points. And then Hufflepuff. And then the winners are Slytherin. Oh, yeah, the round of applause. And then he goes, oh, hold on, I just need to give out some last minute points. And you're like, wait, what? You can't do that. You've announced Slytherin the winners. And of course, I'm an adult, so I know what he's going to do. He's in Gryffindor. Like, what are you doing? You can't do that. Look at all the Slytherin children. They're children, Dumbledore, and they're celebrating the House Cup. They're not all like Malfoy. They're not all like that. Like, some of them are nice. We know this. I know this. I know that they're not all horrible, right? And he's like, no, last minute points. Oh, look, it's exactly the number of points they need to win. Whoops, must have forgot to mention it before I announced the winner. It's like, what are you doing? That's so mean. It's out of order. And he's in Gryffindor. Shocking. That is shocking. I'm going to read a bit from this part because it's ridiculous. A storm of cheering and stamping broke out from the Slytherin table. Harry could see Draco Malfoy banging his goblet on the table. It was a sickening sight. Yes, yes, well done, Slytherin. Do you know what I mean? Said Dumbledore. However, recent events must be taken into account. What are you doing? The room went very still. The Slytherin's smiles faded a little. Ahem, said Dumbledore. Do you know what I mean? Ahem. Ahem. What are you doing? Like, you're a fully grown adult. Ahem, said Dumbledore. I have a few last-minute points to dish out. Let me see. Yes, it's like you've clearly planned this. Like, don't act like, oh yeah, I just remembered something. Like, come on, dude. Like, I fully do not support this. I don't. It's really unfair. Sickening. That's sickening. Not Draco Malfoy, mate. Bloomin' Dumbledore. What's he playing at? Sickening. So there's a couple more things I wanted to mention. The first, let's talk about Hermione. I really like how caring she is of Ron and Harry. I really like the potential of Hermione to become, because she's so intelligent and so caring and so nurturing and like really brave and all the things that Gryffindor children are. There's a bit where she makes the boys revise and she makes them a revision timetable. Like, that's so lovely. I'm just excited to see where she'll go. It's a bit like, reminded me of Arya Stark in Game of Thrones, and like just being really excited to see, like, as she grows older, what she'll become. And I don't know. So yeah, she could be a heck of a witch. Another bit about Hermione, I loved this section. They've just gone down the trapdoor and they've landed on this plant, which I was sure was like a monster or something. And they were like, oh, it's a plant. And I was like, no, it's not, but it is. Stop moving, Hermione ordered them. I know what this is. It's Devil's Snare. Oh, I'm so glad we know what it's called. That's a great help, snarled Ron, leaning back, trying to stop the plant curling around his neck. Shut up, I'm trying to remember how to kill it, said Hermione. Well, hurry up, I can't breathe, Harry gasped, wrestling with it as it curled around his chest. I just liked their interaction there. It tells you a lot about their relationship. I think it just really helps knowing that there's like 6 more books of this to come. That's really exciting. One final thing I wanted to talk about. I'm going to get my tea for this. The world. Again, I'm struggling with it, right? It is something I keep coming back to and keeps confusing me. Yeah, it's one specific bit where Ron talks about how having dragons in the garden would alert muggles to their existence. And the reason it threw me off is because, well, hang on. If Ron lives in the muggle world, because they all leave, at the end of the book, they all leave Hogwarts and go back to the muggle world. Ron's mum comes and picks him up from King's Cross in the muggle world. How does Ron not know what a red card is? How does that other boy not know what basketball is? Like, if you live in the muggle world, I'm sorry, but you know what basketball is and you know what a red card is. It confuses me still. And now I'm going back on this idea that there are 2 intersecting worlds on top of the other. I don't think that's the case. I'm a bit lost. Well, that's it. I've read it. I've read a Harry Potter book officially. I'm 35 years old and I've read my first Harry Potter book. I really liked it. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm super excited to read the next one. Yeah, I'll do the first few chapters of the next book. I don't even know what it's called. And then I'll catch you up on those. So looking forward to that. See you. I need a wand. See you then. Bye.